of business because you have one bad week, one bad month, and you go bankrupt. Actually, people have been complaining forever that Gibsons were too expensive.
Yep, that's what I was saying.
Actually, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
When you compare them to other guitars of the same quality.
But you can't play that game. That's the whole thing. And it's not just Gibson. It's all of them. Paul Reed Smith, all of them put out these fucking guitars that looked incredible, and they said, "Hey, it's worth more than $600. It's worth $6,000." Well, it's not. It's not worth that. It's worth what people are willing to pay. That's what fucking things are. And that's how it is. It's always been that way. And all these fucking people decided, instead of wanting a fucking quarter on every dollar, you know, when we were kids, you made a 5-cent profit on every dollar. And now they want a 95% profit on every dollar. Well, you're not going to get that, because the 5 cents isn't going to pay for everything else.
Well, it's because the people at the top are being overpaid. That's all there is to it.
Charging that kind of it's just like fucking going to a football game and paying fucking outrageous prices for everything. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. What the heck is going on with that truck up there that has smoke coming over the top of it?
One of the things that people are talking about is how the number of small boutique manufacturers, people who build guitars, amplifiers, and that's all they do. I mean, they're not a giant company, it's just one guy. Wow. And you're finally getting to a point where their guitars are costing about a little more than a Paul Reed Smith or a Gibson. But you can get it made exactly the way you want.
You wouldn't even recognize that corner.
Yeah, I know. But
I thought they'd filled this up. They just took the Buffalo out and fucking left it empty. Wow. You know, when you are when you're starting out playing an instrument, you should be able to get a guitar or a keyboard for $100 when you're a kid. Something that's going to be able to allow you to jam with your friends. But they don't do that. Now, now Walmart tried to do that with their stuff. Let's stop at Seattle Hill Road. This is Seattle Hill Road? Okay. Excuse me, buddy. You don't mind if I get over here first, do you? The fuck? The hell you think you're doing? This doesn't make any sense at all. Wow. Goddard School, huh? Okay, now it kind of gets back into Seattle Hill Road, but that's a weird way to get to it. I used to know people lived here on this road. So, was it that one or is it up here? Came up with Davidson or...
Because of the way CBS and the way Norland ran Gibson and Fender, we almost lost those companies 30 years ago, back in the 80s. Almost lost them. We're going to lose Gibson this time. Yep. Gibson's going to go, it's going to be bought by somebody, and they're not going to build them in America. That's all there is to it.
The thing
I
is,
don't like certain things. Like Paul Reed Smith once claimed that they would never build guitars other than in America. Well, he's been building his inexpensive lines in Korea for a long time now, for 20 years. So he lied.
Yep.
And one of the things that's special about his company was that they made, well, they're the ones that made everybody go, okay, we've got to get our shit together.
Well, that's when everybody started putting out real nice looking, real good looking guitars,
Really
with
good.
the smooth edges and nice paint jobs. Before that, it was just utilitarian. And it wasn't just him.
Well, everybody wanted the wood like the 59 Les Pauls, and apparently somebody got the idea along the line that the wood was hard to find, the figured wood. Well, it wasn't. It was a lie.
Yeah. Well,
And
so they could make a huge
continued to
profit.
say this to us through the 70s, that we can't get that kind of wood. It's expensive. No, it wasn't. It's fucking maple. And maple is not expensive. It's a little more for figured wood because they have to cut the tree the right way. But that's it. So they made the wood available to all of us.
The camera didn't fall, but everything else did. That's great.
And now you can buy rather inexpensive instruments with very, very, very expensive looking wood. I think that's kind of stupid, but okay. Boy, that's
That was open a few, not that long ago. Around 28 years, 29 years. I remember that Darren worked out here on this, was it this farm? Remember that when he lived out here?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not set up the same way at all anymore. Of course, nothing is. What are the trees? Are those trees are growing?
It's interesting because Gibson never has done good with the amplifiers. They did originally up until the 50s, but then Fender fucking knocked them out. And all these other companies out there, there's a lot of good amplifier. Fender, they've come up with a model that has revolutionized the young people's guitar industry.
Well, see, that's the thing. Amplifiers, you can go out and get a $100 amplifier that will stand up on stage. You know, they're not great, but you can get a good practice amplifier for a guitar. The guitars, I mean, it just doesn't.
Actually, the quality of beginner instruments is way better than it ever has been.
Well, yeah. There's no doubt about that.
And they're cheaper than they've ever been.
Right. But it took them forever to do that, and that's the thing that broke. It's the same thing with the pianos. That's why you know.
Well, pianos are expensive to be made.
That's the whole thing. They're not just a piece of wood with electronics hammered in them. The plastic Casios are. You know, they're just plastic with electronics.
But they're not. They're an electronic instrument. They're not designed for the acoustic quality.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But But the thing is that the real pianos became. Well, first of all, they're impossible to move and use in a. I mean, they're great for sitting in your home.
Exactly.
But they're very difficult to take on the road. And, even Yamaha Grand Oh, you decided the same thing, huh? You're coming right behind me. Okay, what the hell? They priced themselves out of business. Pianos, they didn't have much of a choice, except that, well, they didn't. I mean, and the thing is that the world became overloaded with pianos in so many ways. You know, that's why you could get an upright piano for $75.
$150 and $75. You could, a real piano.
Yeah, a real piano, exactly. Food. I like that sign. No stop sign here, go ahead. But it's so different. This is little tree that was here, what is it called? Angel?
Yeah, this gone.
Or whatever.
I didn't realize.
Well, I remember that it burned out again, but I thought they'd left the stump up.
They did for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought they did again this time too.
Also, Mom and Dad have been gone for a long time.
Yep. Just like that barn that used to sit there on that corner. Mm-hmm. Wow, no one's living in there? What a perfect place to live.
Mm-hmm.
Snohomish Farmers Market. They had a plane crash here just the other day. That must be a club of some kind.
Something that's interesting is that the actual thing that makes the difference between the price of a Gibson guitar and an Epiphone is the finish.
Mm-hmm.
On an Epiphone, they do one coat of polyurethane after they prep the wood. One coat.
Yep.
And it is literally 15 seconds at the most is how long it takes to spray it. It is an entire day of sanding and doing on a Gibson guitar. They actually spend the time to make it really quick.
Wow, buzz in?
Yeah.
It's still there.
That's the big difference. And also the wood quality. They use a lot of smaller pieces to make the Epiphones. Because the solid body guitar, once you put the finish on it, you don't know that the tone does not come from whether the wood is a piece of solid wood or it's like a solid top acoustic guitar. It doesn't make any difference whether it's plywood or whether it's made out of plastic or metal.
It's the electronics.
Electronics are the thing that make the guitar work. The electric. There's huge numbers of people who make all these things about, well, yeah, okay, the reason why you like the old guitars is because you have a bunch of nostalgia. That's it.
You like the way they feel on you, the way they hang on you. I understand that.
Well, but okay, a brand new Les Paul or a 59. Well, I can pick up a 59. You want to know what? You can buy, okay, they've been making those pickups now for 60 years. They aren't special now. They were special at one time. There was a time when you couldn't find another Les Paul because they quit making them. But that was 50 years ago. That's all there is to it.
Okay, so this girl, does she know me or something? She has been following me since Seattle Hill Road.
What's funny is how hard the vintage crowd is still trying to hold on to that it's a better guitar. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. Wrong.
Proper Joe Coffee House.
I mean, just wrong. Gorilla Bites Cafe.
I've seen a whole bunch of parking place right there. Well, you want to get out and walk?
I guess so. Sure.